What's going on, gamers? PKing Idiots here, and today we are going to discuss 5 tips to help you win your 1v1 gunfights. This is extremely important because it could be the deciding factor in a team fight for gaining the advantage or even clutching it up for your team. Tip number 1 is going to be everybody's favorite discussion, and that is the high ground. And the main reason this matters is because you are in control of the fight. You decide when you are in their line of sight and when you are behind cover, and usually with just the press of a button. Because of this, it is very easy to take cover and heal or pick a different angle that your opponent is not expecting. You also have the opportunity to either back off from a fight or surprise the enemy with a fast push. If things start going south, you can also back off and have time to reset before the enemy pushes you, or a lot of the times they'll even run away or get different angles. And you have time to reset because they usually have to climb up something or get a different angle to try and knock you. Tip number 2 is learn your gun. The more you know your gun, the easier it will be to win a fight. One example is if I'm taking an up-close fight with a shotgun versus an SMG. I know that I have the edge if there is some cover nearby because I can peek, cock my gun, and peek again. But if we are out in the open, I better be strafing and dodging as many bullets as possible because the SMG has a much faster time to kill if I get beamed. If I dodge enough bullets and hit my shots, it's a free kill. The enemy will have to switch guns, which is just enough time to get off one free shot with a shotgun, and we all know how deadly those can be. Tip number 3, movement. Learn how to strafe, duck, and jump slide against your enemies effectively. These are very simple to learn and are the first steps in you incorporating movement in your gameplay. You can also learn more advanced tactics like the zipline super jump, wall jump, bunny hop, and tap strafe. Most of these can be combined for an even more deadly combo, and there are many other movement techniques like the magnetic zipline double jump or even the mantle jump. These movement techniques are extremely vital in winning a 1v1 fight when you have the upper hand or even when you're at a disadvantage. If deployed properly, you will be dodging a lot of bullets, reducing the damage to you and increasing your chances of winning. If you are already winning the fight and use some of these tactics, it will decrease the amount of damage you take, giving you space to miss an entire clip or be ready for the next fight. Tip 4. Practice your movement. I know this one might sound like a cop-out since we just discussed movement. However, I couldn't tell you how many times I have seen people practicing their wall jump in arenas while we're in the buying phase, but I never see them use it while they're in combat. I was, and kind of still am, one of these people, but what is the point in practicing movement techniques if you are never going to use them or test them out? You can practice your movement in the firing range or while running from one POI to the next, but you have to start using it in combat to start building your confidence and actually put them to use. One very helpful game mode I have started doing this in is Control. It's a low pressure situation and most of the time you won't run into someone who is being a sweaty nerd. I find this to be the best place for me to get real world practice without consequence. And finally, tip number 5, pay attention to your surroundings. Be aware of where your team is and where the enemy is. Sure, you will have times where you're just about to win that 1v1, but you get shot from the side or the back without having a clue where the enemy is. But that's just how life is. You need to be familiar with where you're fighting, so if things get sour, you can back off and heal in a semi-safe spot. In times like these, it's also important to know where your team is, so if the enemy does decide to push after seeing you run and trying to pop a bat or a med kit, then they can cover you and potentially get an easy knock. It's also important to know this so that you don't end up pushing into a 1v2 situation. This concludes my 5 tips on how to win your Apex Legends gunfights. If this was helpful at all, please be sure to like the video and leave a comment. We all want to get better at the game, but remember to have fun, so don't get too upset if you fail a wall jump or a tap strafe. And as always, this is your captain, PKing Idiot speaking, and I will catch you in the next one.